Parashat Miketz, I know we're in Vayigash, but it's still connected very much. The Torah says, Vayar Yaakov ki yesheva b'Mitzrayim. Yaakov sees that there's still food in Egypt. Vayomer Yaakov levanav lama titra'u. Why are you acting as if everything's fine? You have food, but don't stick out. Don't let people see that everything is good by you. Don't be any different than anybody else. ויאמר הנה שמעתי כי ישב במצרים ידעו שמה ושיבו לנו משם ונחיה ולא נמות.
Wait, the pshat is that they weren't hungry?
They were not. No.
They had food, they themselves.
They had. That's what Rashi writes. He writes two pshats. There's a machloket rishonim how to explain the pshat of the pasuk, but that's the most common pshat. So he says, go down to Egypt. The Torah addressed Yaakov, Vayar Yaakov. The next pasuk says, Vayerdu achei Yosef asara. The brothers of Yosef go down 10. Lishbor bar memitzrayim. Interesting transition from Bnei Yaakov to achei Yosef. Why is the Torah addressing them now as achei Yosef? That's question number one. Question number two, why do they need 10? They're going to get food, so what should they have done? Send one, send a shaliach, and that's it. Why do you need to have 10 people go down? Okay, the next pasuk. Binyamin achei Yosef. Lo shalach Yaakov et echav. And Binyamin, the brother of Yosef, Yaakov did not want to send with his brothers. Why not? Ki amar pen yikarenu ason. Maybe a tragedy, something dangerous could happen to him. I'm not risking it. I'm not going to send him. Pasuk Hey. V'avou b'nei Yisrael lishbor betoch habayim. All of a sudden, again, it transitions. B'nei Yisrael. It called him Yaakov at the beginning. Then it says Achei Yosef. And now it calls him B'nei Yisrael. What's going on here? Why does the Torah keep bouncing back? It's alternating, changing lanes without a blinker. Just from literally one pasuk to the next. Right? It says Vayar Yaakov, it calls him Yaakov twice. Pasuk Gimel, Vayardu achei Yosef. Pasuk Hey, V'avou b'nei Yisrael, Lishbor ochel. Lishbor betoch habayim. What does it mean they came to get amongst the comers into Egypt? They got food. K'arav be'eretz Kenan. And next pasuk, one more pasuk we'll read it, then we'll explain a little bit. ויוסף הוא השליט על הארץ, הוא המשביר לכל עם הארץ. And Yosef was the ruler of the land of Egypt. He was the one, the supplier of bread to all of the people of the land. והבואו אחי Yosef, once again, it alternates back. The brothers of Yosef, וישתחוו לו אפיים ארצה, and they bow down to him. So what's going on here? So first of all, we have to understand, was Yosef standing there for all these years passing bread out to everyone who wants to buy? What do you guys think? You think he just sits there and gives out bread to every comer to Egypt? Everyone walks in? He's the one who gave out the bread? What do you think?
Obviously not.
Obviously not. Why not?
He couldn't have done that physically. I mean,
so
he was also like the highest...
he's the viceroy, he's the big boss. Fine, I hear what you're saying, but I'll read the pasuk again. ויוסף הוא השליט על הארץ, meaning he's the ruler of the land. Very good. הוא המשביר, הוא המשביר לכל עם הארץ.
Besides,
המשביר, supplier.
I understand, but not with his hand.
Okay, fine. So how did they get to Yosef? ויבואו אחרי יוסף וישתחוו לו אפיים ארצה. They bowed in. You walk into Egypt? Oh, we found Yosef.
He told them to look for them.
It sounds like they walk into Egypt. And I'm reading the script right now, the text. Right? The pasuk says, Yosef is the ruler, he is the supplier, and the brothers come before him and they bow to him. You know what that sounds like? That he is the only supplier in Egypt. So the Hakim HaKadosh writes that. Believe it or not, that Yosef would supply bread to all of the people in Egypt. Wow. Why? He said, there's a famine, he saw the dreams of Paro, and he understood that it was a prophecy. He's the king, and he's having a prophecy, and Yosef is the one interpreting that prophecy. So he knew very well that everybody in the world is going to experience this famine, and that includes his family and his brothers, and they're clearly going to come down to Egypt to get food.
Right.
Very good. So he's waiting for them. So if he's waiting for them, says the Hakim HaKadosh, he was the supplier of bread, and he was willing to give out. That's pshat of the pasuk according to Rabbi Ariel Cohen. So how does that fly by the Egyptians? What are you going to tell everybody? That's good. The Hakim HaKadosh writes, he had a revealed reason to the Egyptians and a secret reason that was only known to him. So the reason we just explained is good to explain why he would do that for himself. But as the viceroy of Egypt, you have to have logic in what you're doing. Listen, I'm waiting for my brothers. What happened with your brothers? Oh yeah, they just sold me as a slave. I'm looking for them. No, he didn't say that to anybody. So that was a hidden reason he had for himself. What was the pshat that he told Paro and the Egyptians? He said, listen, if you have a bunch of suppliers, then what's going to happen? Then the price will fluctuate by everybody. Some people will charge more. Some people, it's like those gas stations by I-95 when you need gas, so they rip the price. So he says, I don't want to have that. The border patrol starting to charge big price. That's all Hamakadosh pshat, simple pshat. He says, he was the only supplier, so he could control the price, and the revenue will go to Egypt. And that way, Paro said, I like it, smart. No suppliers, just you. He said, I'm willing to do it. That was his simple reason for them. But the deeper reason why he was willing to do such a thing was because he was waiting for the brothers. The Ramban says, Chas v'shalom, to say such a thing. He says that Yosef is going to stand there like a nanny and wait every day, watching literally hundreds of thousands, not millions of people walk by his nose, right by him to say yes, no, yes, no. So we have to go to the words of Midrash Rabbah. Midrash Rabbah says an incredible pshat. Listen to this pshat, incredible. Yosef there was the TSA of Egypt, and there was 10 gates to Egypt. And everyone knows this famous Rashi, but I'll add some insight based on the Midrash Rabbah. There was 10 gates of Egypt, and he had 10 border controls, TSA, passport control, everybody. He said, I want you to check 3 things. I want you to ask them their name, their father's name, and their country. 3 things. And if they want to buy bread, they need to answer all 3 of these questions when they come into Egypt, and they could go to any supplier. That's what they do. And then every night he asked that they would give a list of the names to him, and he'd have somebody close to him. He told them, listen, if you see Bnei Yaakov, you see these names, he told them the names, I'm looking for 10 names. If you find one, or 11, maybe he said Benjamin, not sure. But he said, if you look for these names, you find them, you tell me. One day, the brothers of Yosef, the sons of Yaakov, they came in through how many gates? All 10 gates. Why?
Split up.
Ainara. Beautiful. They split up because of Ainara. That's why Yaakov Avinu told them to split up. So how do we learn it? It says in the pasuk, "V'yavo bnei Yisrael lishbor betoch habayim." They came dispersed amongst the people coming in, meaning that they were not noticeable. They didn't stick out. Let's learn that from the pshat of the words. They came in betoch habayim. Says the Midrash, they did it for Ainara. Yosef says he had a goblet and he would bang it, put it by his ear. He says, it's telling me here you guys are spies. He said, sorry, you told me that you guys are brothers and you came and 2 of you guys massacred the entire city and you guys are vicious people. That's what it's telling me here. Why did you guys split up into 10 gates? They said, Ainara. He said, oh yeah, Ainara? That's why? He says, I have a question for you. The Midrash says something crazy. It says that Yosef, that night that he got the 10 names, he told them, close all of the marketplaces. Now, if someone wants to buy, comes directly to me. He locked he closed all the bastot, all the marketplaces, closed them. Now there's only one supplier of bread, me. Have everybody come to me. He's waiting there 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, no one comes. Yosef takes 10 giants, 10 Muhammads, he takes 10 Abdullah, whatever their names are, and they takes 10 of those Egyptians, and he says, listen, you have to go look for these 10 guys. Go look, they're very handsome, tall guys, look for them in Egypt. They look everywhere, they look in the marketplace, they don't find them. All of a sudden, they go and they look in the harlots marketplace. The Kubash al-Zonot, says the Midrash. Wow. And they find them there. What were they doing there?
Saying Tehillim?
Hiding.
Not hiding, they're looking for Yosef, says the Midrash.
They thought they'd be
very good. They said if he's here, his only chance in Egypt is going to be by harlots. For sure, he's probably a handsome guy and he's a slave there, and that's what they're doing to him. So they went and looked. Yosef said, you guys are worried about Ainara? What are you doing there? So he caught them red-handed and he said, I told you guys are spies. He said, no, we're looking for our brother. So they didn't tell this to Yaakov when they went back, but now he caught him red-handed. He mamash schooled them, and he came and he told them, I caught you guys red-handed. What happened? He said, no, we're looking for our brother who was sold into Egypt. He came as a slave, and we're looking for him. He said, okay, but you're not worried of Ainara. So you see, I told you guys are spies. And at that second, he neutralized them of any ability to ask questions about this guy.
Right.
When you accuse somebody of being a spy, and then they start coming and asking questions, who is this guy? Who's this viceroy guy over here? How did he get here? What happens? Immediately, he literally came and he neutralized all of their weapons and all of their powers to ask questions. So, Rabotai, we're about almost done with 10 minutes. Tomorrow we'll continue the episode. To be continued, B'ezrat Hashem.
You leave
But
us
the
there?
Midrash is
You're
crazy.
hanging like one of those TV shows next week.
We don't watch TV, Habibi. But B'ezrat Hashem, we'll continue tomorrow.